If elected, what are your plans for dealing with the huge budget deficit that was recently reported?
I'll start. I don't need a mic. Last couple weeks, or when I started getting involved with this campaign, I realized I've heard that Greater Clark has a drop in enrollment. We are losing kids that's going to West Clark, where kids is transferring out. I think something we can do to increase revenue, we got to not only keep our kids, we need to attract students from other corporations. And I think if we talk about we're on the cutting edge, I think we've got a lot to offer. In Clark County, we have quite a bit to offer, if not more, in Greater Clark County schools. So I think attracting students and making our student population grow would increase the revenue.
Can I dovetail on that? Tony's on the right track, and I think a way you do that is just have a school board that makes good news and not bad news and helps the image of the school system. I think that's one decision that parents make. They see what's in the headlines and who's squabbling and who's getting along. And I think Greater Clark has had a history of a school board that has not reflected well on the community. And that's, I think I can help with that.
I think Dale's got some ideas there, but I think there's a lot of good things that go on in Greater Clark that don't get noticed. There are many things. As we all know, bad press gets more press than good press. There are so many things, and we're working on that, a positive PR program to get students to stay and retain students, and also, as Tony said, to draw them in from other schools. We have a lot to offer. Greater Clark is a great system. It's getting greater all the time, and we will bring the students back. I have no doubt in that. As far as what we can do in the immediate short term, we have to go through the budget line by line. We went through last year, it was $4 million last year that we had to make up. It was tough, but each year as you cut away and you cut away, it gets tougher because 92.5%, I believe, of our general fund is employee and benefits, salary and benefits. It gets tough. It's not going to be easy, but you have to go through there line by line. If you can save 10 here, 1,000, 10,000 there, if you can generate, such as at the last board meeting, we agreed to make a lot of our purchases using an American Express card. You say, oh, you know, well, you don't want to charge it. Well, it wasn't a charge. It was purchasing things we already purchased with a credit card, which will give us 1% back on those purchases. Right off the bat, it's like $30,000 a year. We're going to try to spread it into more of our purchases and generate more income. You have to look at different diversified ways to generate income. You have to look really hard at how to cut costs, but you also have to retain your students or you're not going to make it. Thank you.
Great.
The answers presented so far tonight touch on two of the three major concerns and issues and challenges for Greater Clark Community Schools, and that's finance and public relations. It's my understanding that Greater Clark lost 100 students last year. At $5,400 per student from the state, that's $500,000. So yes, we need to find out why we're losing students. And not only that, but as far as the budget finance, I understand that there's TIF money available, so something like $12.5 million that is designated for economic development. And what's a better economic development than our students and our future? And so I think Greater Clark School Board is considering pursuing that alternative.
Unfortunately, when I was in New Albany, Floyd, for 16 years I sat with the group that actually went through and cut budgets. I felt it very deeply because my department, curriculum and instruction, I lost 6 very important people that were on my team. We did it through attrition whenever we could, retirements, moving jobs, but when you have over 90% of your costs in personnel, it gets to be a very difficult process because they're not just numbers on a page. They're people that you work with and you care about. But you have to look at every single item. Somebody was talking earlier about looking in the corners of things and making sure things were all looked at, and I agree with that. It was you, Kelly, and shout out to Kelly. That is so important to understand the big picture.
As an accountant, I tend to be the conservative one and the realistic one, I think. And a lot of times we're talking about, you know, getting more students so we get more money. And that's a wonderful goal, and everybody should strive towards that. But the only way we're going to get more students if we are really truly the premier provider of education. We have to focus on the students that we have to provide the best education that we can for them, and then more students will want to come here. We don't have to advertise to get them to come because people will know that we are the best that we can really be. And I think that in the long run, we will reap rewards from it.